Howdy y'all, you got the Bulldog on the channel. What we got here today is a 2014 Ford F-150. Got the 5-liter in it. Come in as a no start. Now it's been in, had some trouble before. Start and die. We cleaned the throttle body on it because it was sticking, had some carbon behind it. And that took care of it. So the customer just assumed that's what it needed again. But it didn't hit a lick. They towed it down here. They live real close. They could do that. We get it in last night. We got it all checked out. And I figured I'd film this and take you through what we did and let you know how to test on these things and hopefully get you to your diagnosis a little bit quicker. Now the first thing I noticed was that the fuel pump did not run on this thing. So I banged on the tank a little bit to see if we had a bad fuel pump. Maybe the brushes were bad. Maybe it'll take off and run. It didn't. So beyond that, we decided we'd just go ahead and throw the machine on it, check the codes. Now here's the codes that we found in it. We've got a mass airflow sensor code, a misfire code, and a fuel pump code. Now, this mass airflow sensor code can be a result. It can set because of extended cranking, and since the battery was almost dead on this, I figured they cranked it quite a bit. Misfire code. Now, if it has low fuel pressure, hey cat, if it has low fuel pressure, then it could miss a little bit before it completely runs out of fuel. Most likely, we're looking at this fuel pump control circuit problem as the culprit that caused everything. Now, two of the most common problems for that circuit code there are either the fuel pump module, which means the fuel pump that goes in the tank is open, or the fuel pump driver module, the part that controls how fast the fuel pump runs. Instead of having a mechanical regulator anymore, they have an electric module that just controls the voltage going to the fuel pump, and it controls the fuel pressure that way. We wanted to find out if it had any fuel pressure. We hooked the computer up and looked at the data, because they used to have a PID on the thing that tells you exactly what the pressure transducer on the engine is saying, and they took it out. So we can't see the fuel pressure that the computer sees for some reason. So figured since it was a circuit code, we might as well run back there and check. These things can look a little bit intimidating, but honestly, they're really not bad. Here we have the fuel pump control module and the fuel pump itself. Now you see the power wires for the fuel pump come out and they go over to this module. You got the power in and you got the ground. So what we want to do is eliminate this module to know whether or not the pump is good. So what I did was I jumped power to the yellow and gray wire from power, and I jumped ground from the white with a brown wire to ground. They actually made this kind of easy. I don't know if there's a right way to do it, but this is my way. I've done this before. Only on that module, everything was set flat. This one is double stacked. I'll show you why that matters. Here we are underneath the truck, and I've got this driver module unplugged. It sits right here on top of the spare tire. They used to be a lot harder to get to. This one's not too bad at all. And you can see that's a double stack plug. But you'll see on the back here, we've got our power wire and the power to the pump right there on top of each other, and our ground wire and the ground to the pump right on top of each other. So all we have to do is short these two together and these two together, and it works. What I did was I just took a spade connector and turned the terminals 90 degrees. Now on the ones that are flat, you just take it, plug it in. And these, since they're stacked like this, I just turn them 90 degrees and they'll plug in and they'll create a bridge. And it'll look just like this when you got them plugged in. Now let's go hit the key and see if this truck starts up. There we go. Now what that does is it bypasses the driver module down there. It tells us that the pump has power, the pump is working, the engine runs. With just simply jumping those terminals across, we've eliminated everything else on the entire vehicle as a problem we know that driver module is bad. It's a very common occurrence. Actually, it's the most common on these things because of where it sits. It gets a lot of salt, moisture, and everything. They like to fail. They used to be made out of aluminum and they failed a lot more. It's a little bit better now, but still, it's a weak point in their system. We got a new module. That's a Ford part number GA8Z-9D370-A. New one is already installed. Very simple, just two 10mm headed bolts. Confirm the repair. Yep, fires up. Now that is a quick and simple diagnosis. I didn't even break out a test light on this. I did have a computer that pointed me towards that direction, having those codes. It doesn't tell you what's wrong, but it does point you in the right direction. It pointed me right to the fuel pump circuit, and I eliminated one of the two things that it could be with just simple jumping across a module. And as always, this is my method of doing it. It's a lot less invasive than having to break all this extra stuff out. If you want to do it differently, that's fine. I'm not saying this is the right way, it's just my way. And also, this is a way to do it in your driveway with limited tools if you have a code reader. It's not a fix-it thing, it is you go check this thing. That takes care of this one. Like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it all around. We'll talk to you later.